Well, I was just saying that, I'm trying to teach them new vocabulary words. And as you said, well, it would be a luxury to see them 5 times a week for an hour. I see them twice a week for 35, 40
Uh,
minutes.
mm,
And then exactly, we read the article and we cannot remember the words. Well, what can we do, right? Because there's
right,
nothing we can connect it to. So it's definitely
right,
an efficient way to teach vocabulary
right,
and
right, exactly,
language.
right.
Um,
Yeah, I mean, there's what was the name of the server? There's this amazing Minecraft server all about truth in journalism. I have to look up the name of it. Um, and I'm gonna just check here. Um, it's like the yeah, the uncensored library. You should look up the uncensored library. Blow your mind, and then you should log in. Hopefully you already. Hopefully you all have mine. I know one of you has Minecraft. I don't know if all of you
Yep,
do.
I do too.
Uh,
Yep.
check out the uncensored library.
I have to
You
do that.
will flip out. It
I'm excited
is.
already.
It's basically.
Can you put that in the chat in the link?
Yeah. It's basically a place where you know can read um, journalists' work that has been censored in their
uh-huh.
home country, and they have a tremendous number of people working on the translations because Minecraft has, you know, I think almost every language. Some of they're probably I don't know. I haven't checked all of them, um,
So
but you'll
cool.
probably find what you're looking for in the language that your students are studying, and have them enter this world and check out some of the books that have articles about topics that are censored from journalists that have been censored. And here's a place where they can post their work and have it translated into other languages so that people around the world can read it and hear about issues that are not being reported in mainstream media. Like when you start looking like that, it's like, wait a minute, like this is a whole like there's another motivational tool for teaching students additional languages. Like maybe there it depends on the age that you're teaching, I suppose. Like this is probably some hard hitting journalistic ideas, but certainly like for high school and beyond, maybe eighth grade or late junior high or middle school, whatever. Right, but like so, just the concept was when I first found out about this. My son showed me this. He's like, "Dad, you're gonna freak out. You see this?" It's like he's right. Like the idea that there are places for us to go and share in all these languages ideas that have been forbidden. Okay,
Mind blowing.
right? Like that is totally mind blowing. Like forget about your vocabulary list. Like forget about your quiz on Friday. Forget about your funny little skit. Like this is real. Like and so like I those kinds of things really inspire me to think that like these are ways that people are already like this isn't school. This is real life. Like this is something happening, and like to show this to the right age group at the right time at the right school, it could be life changing and could
Okay.
right. It's like, but like to think like that, in whatever that inspires you to do, like with your students and to learn additional languages, like maybe maybe you take whatever is their primary language, and then you have them in Minecraft, writing stories and putting them into a second language, right? But they build but not only do they write the story, but they also build the the structures and the characters and the mechanics and the physics that go into that world, right? Let's say they could take a week and they could write short stories in their primary language, and you could take a week and you could translate that into an additional language, and then but meanwhile you're also building the very world, right, that they're writing about, so that they can visualize it. You could turn it into an adventure map and have other students visit and walk into what they envisioned in their head. Again, it's all about making the invisible visible, right? Like so, like when you write an essay, you're making the invisible visible, right?
For sure.
But if you can also add these other parts to it where you can actually walk through it, like that was like my big thing when I was in college and getting my bachelor's degree. I was just like so like I need to do something. Like I can't just write these damn papers. Like and then I started finding all kinds of crazy ways to incorporate objects into my essays. Like so, like probably the craziest thing I ever did was I showed up. Like everyone had to like wait in line to like turn in their paper. I don't know why it was and we're like wait. I had a gigantic extra large pizza box, and I had like all kinds of crazy writing all over it that was relevant to the ideas I was talking about. I had all kinds of strange objects inside of it along with the paper, and like I had this like, it was like a performance art piece, and I'm waiting in line to turn in my paper, and everyone's just like freaking out, and I'm showing up with a pizza. They're all showing up with like these neatly stapled pieces of paper. I've got a pizza box, right? Because I was trying to deal with form and content. I was trying to play with the like take these ideas that are in my head, like write a paper about it, but also make them visible in the world. Like how do I also like try to make stuff? I didn't know anything about constructionism, constructivism, Papert. Like these people were non-entities to me, but I was just doing these things, trying to always find the nexus points of, what can I think about, what can I then do, and then how can I present it in some sort of unified format that demonstrates, the continuity of all my thoughts. And so you could do that today so easily. Like honestly, Minecraft. I don't have to bang on about Minecraft, but I've been playing it since it came out. I'm a Minecraft mentor. I just joined the, EDU. I got approved as a moderator on the community forum. Like I'm big into it. I bought it for my entire school. Like we do a lot of Minecraft. We also do a lot of physical computing as well. But I see it as this great 3D prototyping landscape to just try things, debug things, and again, making the invisible visible. Like that's really the whole point. So like that, you're what language are they learning?
Oh, we have 22. They're all
Oh,
so their first languages are all different. Like there are about
oh,
from different countries, 22 different countries, I believe, and they are all learning English, but they're all at different levels. So when you mention that,
this is
there
awesome.
are so many rules that we seem to follow, like all kids have to be the same age in the classroom, and then we put a poor 10 or 12-year-old in a 7-8 split with zero English
Mm-hmm.
just because it's written somewhere that that's what we should be doing.
Mm-hmm.
And then that poor child is sitting looking at the wall all day because they have no
Yeah.
idea what's going on around them. So,
I mean, like honestly, like they would have a blast in Minecraft, and they would, and because they can all use their primary languages
mhm,
and
that
write
would be
it in
amazing. That would
Minecraft,
be
you
amazing.
you can have this incredible. You can have 20 languages, more than 20 languages, all in one world,
That's insane.
You can set a
right?
Rosetta Stone in there so they can help each other out too.
Right. Like and like what and then the goal would be. Like, I think the goal is in their primary language write something, and then figure out how to change it into English,
That is insane.
right? And then think about how rich that could be. Not only am I learning English, but I'm actually looking at like maybe 20 other languages. So I understand the English because I'm learning the English, right?
Yeah.
But now I could see what it looked like in someone else's primary language that I've never seen before. How and like how much so all the informal learning that could take place from that kind of interchange would be really rich.
So
Like
true. Oh,
honestly, like if you did something like that, I think Microsoft would probably put you on in the next Minecraft Live next year. In a year from now,
I
you'd
have to
be
team up with Dean.
I'm in.
you'd be an international star. You would be honestly like that would be they would love that. And like I'm already thinking about it, like how and there's a lot. There's a lot. Do you have Minecraft?
I'm not familiar with the Minecraft world.
But you do have access in your class. We're in Regina Catholic schools. We're a Microsoft school, so your kids would all have the free version of it. They just have to download it. I can help you with that.
Okay, so this is where Dean and Curtis come into the picture.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
definitely
there's
need their
yeah
help.
that because you could use it in ways that are so unexpected. I mean, you could do something. You could also use any coding platform as well. But there's just something about I think it's a little more difficult. Like if you had to learn. Honestly, I think Minecraft's probably the best solution because I'm just trying to think like if I had kids learning all these different primary languages, say trying to make games in make code or something, or using whatever Tinker, and they're involved in computational thinking. They've got certain goals that they're completing, et cetera, et cetera. But I'm not. But the richness of learning English is very different there, and because their goals would be so focused on, moving the sprites around and making a video game. I'm not sure they would actually learn English. Whereas if you did, actual teaching of, language acquisition and translations and all these kinds of things, but then they also, as part of that, were immersed in a collaborative space where they made their stories come to life. I just think you have far more buy-in because they could
Oh,
build,
absolutely.
right? They could build their house. And they could tell you a story about their house, like what's their favorite room in the house. They could build their house, and they could learn all kinds of cool, computational ideas in all the triggered actions, mechanical actions, and then also still, label everything, and they could label it in two languages. They could, write stories. They could trade books with each other in the game and have each other read each other's books. And, like you can't do that in any other software on planet Earth right now.
It's
That
amazing.
is amazing. Well,
It's so
thank
much
you
fun.
so much for the
Yeah,
idea. We'll definitely have to look at that.
invite me. I want to come play.
Okay, sure.
Done.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
Cool.
that's awesome.
This is great. You're all wonderful thinkers and very welcoming to me. So thank you for that. And I know this. You're doing. I was telling Dean just the questions. I could tell that you're in a good spot. The questions were right on. They're really the kinds of questions people should be asking.
I
Yes,
just
thank
can't
you.
imagine how motivating that would be for the kids, when they're creating their own stories and they could bring in different aspects of their own culture and just having the option to write something in your first language. Hungarian is my first language. I never get to speak with anybody in Hungarian.
Right.
I
Right.
wish, just for me too, it would be
Yeah.
pretty neat to actually share something in my first
Yeah.
language.
Yeah. Exactly. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, when
Exactly.
you throw in Flipgrid inside of Minecraft too, and you do things
Yep.
where they click on, your
That's
imagination's
true.
your limit.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you got all the videos through your. Yeah, exactly. You could do actual video recordings and link to it from within the game. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah,
It's so
lots of good.
powerful. Yeah.
Oof.
Jeez.
Have
Awesome.
to learn how to do it.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's
Well,
time.
Time.
I'll be your Huckleberry.
Thank
I'll be
you.
in a heartbeat.
Nice.
Thank you. Can
Cool.
we move on to the next question? What impact do you think that computational thinking has on society?
Mm. Mm. Um, that's an interesting question. I think. I mean, if I had my way, it would be part of like a. It would there'd be I think it would be more iterative drafts. Like I think so often things are when we by the time we see them they're complete. Um, and like say for example like being involved in like local city politics, which I tend to do here in Culver City where I'm a resident, and like I'm always reading everything. But by the time I get it to read, whatever deciding forces have probably put their stamp of approval on things. And so there's, the quote debugging process that takes place in these public forums mostly is a rubber stamp. And so like the illusion of participatory politics is it's disheartening, and it's downright wrong. I think computational thinking in politics would be incredible, and to the more crowdsourcing of ideas, more dialogue about how something could be done in a different way, more examples of people figuring out solutions to problems, people who were never asked before. Think about all the underrepresented voices. Think about all the people who never get asked. Think about all the people who, as a result of by no fault of their own, just the accident of their birth, are in a family and in a neighborhood and in a history where they just are disenfranchised, right? And so computational thinking, like if you take it outside of mathematics and science and school and computer programming and apply it to making a democracy, we have a lot of work to do. Like, we would totally restructure voting districts. We would totally restructure how people's economics plays a role in how powerful they are in their society, as a voter, as a thinker. Like it's huge. Like it would totally topple the structure that exists. It would completely shift power back to, I don't know if we ever had it, but it would shift it to the masses of people. So it's I'm not sure how to achieve that. I think local politics, I think you could have a better shot. I think being involved, like I try to go to council meetings, and I try to, if I can't go, I'll write comments and I'll send it into the city clerk and to have them registered as official comments. Like, it doesn't mean anything. I don't know, probably not a whole lot, because again, like there's no iteration. I don't sit in those meetings where they draft the document that we're supposed to vote on. So I think that would be pretty interesting to look at, like how we could use this as a model for getting more people to think and iterate, and have their voice counted in the creation of policy. I think that, to me, is probably I think that's a tangible goal. I don't think it's completely abstract. I think it's possible to do more of that than we do now.
But I think the fact that you're trying to make a difference in your classroom with that, and maybe our generation kind of is a little bit out of luck, so to speak. I never give up hope. I'm kind of an optimist, but definitely
Right.
to empower students, from all walks of life, and that to empower them with activities like this and that mindset of that. That's how you can make the impact. We might not see it, but I really do think that that's the investment in the future that we need to make.
Yeah, for sure. I agree with you on that. Yeah, you never know where your ideas end up. That's what's interesting. You never It's come back later.
But why not the kids, right? Why not let them solve wicked problems? And that's what something like Minecraft, for example, can do for you, is like maybe they figure out a water filtration plant, and they can bring in all their chemistry and English and math that they want, but they're working on something that would advance society. And
Right.
then why not a kid? Like, kids are so smart, and they come up with, like, sometimes, like you said, we're already preconditioned to think a different way. These guys, oh, why wouldn't you try that? Oh,
Right.
look at this.
Right.
So I
Yeah,
love what you're
and
saying. You're giving me goosebumps. It's awesome.
there you go. Right. Yeah. I mean, I just the idea that it could, like the way that you run your classroom. Like, imagine if your city council were run like that. Right? Like, that would be cool. Like, you would really get somewhere totally different. There would be no, like, it would still be messy, no doubt, but you'd have far more participation. And then all those ideas that you never thought of, because you can't think of every idea.
Exactly.
Right? Like, where would that take, the next draft of a policy? Like, it could only be better. There's no way. There's no way it wouldn't be better. It has to be better. Yeah.
No, those are just some excellent points for sure. It just really gets your mind going.
Cool. Yeah, you got me all dazzled. I'm just like, man, I gotta go do something.
Yeah.
This is a good group. We should meet again in some whatever capacity. I don't know, like join some discussion groups together.
For sure. Yeah.
Whatever.
Well, I know, you have like that group there we had during the summer there, I kind of had a personal thing going on, so I couldn't attend as much as I wanted to. But I know I saw you wanted to maybe write some like papers or share some ideas and that type of thing.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. If you ever, we should stay connected, like either through tweets or blogs or discussion groups or all three, or joining your Minecraft world.
Well, maybe
the Minecraft world of 20 languages.
If you're interested, maybe we could get you to be a little bit of a guest speaker on our during our presentation. It's Tuesday nights at 7:00 our time, which is 6:00 your time. So I don't know if to talk to these guys, but maybe we could have you pop in for a couple minutes.
I've got to work it out. Yeah, depends on which day, but yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so it's every Tuesday. I think when's our guys? November 23rd or something, or I don't know when.
You can figure it out and let me know if it sounds like something you want.
Awesome.
Right,
and this is what using Twitter and connecting and stuff should be like. I'm really grateful for you to pop on board with us, and this has been amazing.
Thank you.
Is there anything else you'd like to add before we wrap up our conversation today?
Oh, we covered a lot of ground.
Your question.
I can't think of anything right now. I think we covered a lot.
Oh, that's completely fine. Yeah, we did. We covered a lot. We had a lot of good conversation for sure.
Maybe you could share the recording with me at some point, because maybe I'll take some transcript from it, and then maybe we could like write something together. That'd be cool.
Yeah, for sure.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, that would be very good. Yeah, we can definitely do that.
Yeah, no, thank you. And thank you again. Again, we'd like to thank our guest, Dr. Bryan Sanders. Hopefully you learned something about coding and makerspace, and I would add actually a lot more. I know the three of us did. I saw a lot of nodding and stuff in there too. So Melinda, you want to take us home?
Yes, for sure. And remember, you can think about thinking without thinking about something.
Nice.
Thank you so much, Bryan, for being our guest today.
Thanks for having me. It's great to meet you. Dean, good to see you again.
Thank you.
Curtis.
Yes.
I knew I brought in a ring. I didn't know if they knew, but I knew I brought in a ringer for this, so I was pretty excited when you said you'd join us. So thank you.